Let's take a look inside this riddle that we have to solve. Hello guys, once again it's Matt. Thank you all the members and patrons. Make sure to subscribe. And now after a few hours we can try to take a proper look into the leak and try to guess a little bit better what are the vehicles that are being leaked there. Remember, this leak was made by Zabi, that is very reliable on this type of thing, so expect this thing to be actually correct, okay? I looked at it a very large amount of comments and tried to pick the ones that made more sense to actually try to predict what it will be in the game with this leak. Okay, so let's just hop right into it. The first one, a large cat with a sharp weapon. I already talked about this. I still believe that this is the F-14D, okay? The F-14D with A120s, but there is other contenders. The Leopard 2 140mm that I talked about in the other video could be a thing as well. But another one that is highly likely as well, a Puma with spikes. It would be basically the same. It would be a copy-paste from the KF-41 in the Italian tech tree, but for the Germans or something like that, right? It would make a lot of sense. It is a very sharp weapon for a cat, so that would make sense. And it is a large cat, no matter what. If it's the F-14 or the Puma, they're both very large vehicles, so it would make a lot of sense. For the second one, that is horns for thorns, Hoover for grooves, Beast of the East fought with swords. There are some interesting vehicles over here. A lot of people are talking about the Antelope launcher, which is basically a Chaparral kind of situation. It's a truck that can actually launch Skysword missiles made for the Republic of China Army, right? And it would be kind of like the Chaparral, a truck with the AIM-9s and a radar, so it would be very cool. And it would use, you know, the missile that they developed for air-to-air, but in the ground-to-air kind of situation. It has a 46-kilometer range and uses a pull-stop radar, so it is pretty alright on that regard. That would make more sense, but there's another one that some people are saying, I don't think so, but still, the Griffin tank. It's kind of a prototype for the US, light tank that can use a 120mm. That could be something, maybe, but I don't know. The Antelope makes a little bit more sense. For the third one, which is a common type of lizard found in warm environments, there is one that makes a lot of sense. Basically, it is the gecko. The gecko is normally called the 9K33 OSA in Russian. OSA, something like that. Which means wasp in Russian, but the NATO reporting name of that is gecko, which is a lizard that lives in warmer environments. It would be an AA system, very lightly armored, but with radar guided stuff, basically, right? So it would be very cool because it is one of the older AA systems that we never got in the tech tree for the Soviets. So hopefully that thing is added, and it would be very cool. The next one, a mythical creature filled with vigor. This is kind of for sure. I already talked a little bit about that in the other one, in the other video that I did. The J10, Vigorous Dragon. I mean, I think it's the most likely option that we will have there, and it makes a lot of sense. If it's not that, I would be really surprised. Like, I would be really surprised. So, very cool to see that. And hopefully, yeah, the J10 is added. It would fire the PL-12s and PL-11s even, and you know, the PL-8s and some other missiles. It would be one of the top tiers for China, and it would be a very cool aircraft. The next one, a person who practices a recognized sport in the Olympics. People are talking about two ones over here. I don't know how did I just forget about this aircraft in the first video that I did. The SU-24, guys, the FENCER. NATO name is FENCER, of course. So yes, the SU-24 could come, interdictor for the Soviet Union, probably one of the first ones, and of course the Boxer IFV, right, which is, I mean, it still is possible. There are some variants that even use a similar turret or the same turret, I think, from the Puma. I think that's the one that they're talking about, right? The Australian Boxer CRV or something like that. I don't know what vehicle exactly, but it is an IFV, and it would be very very interesting as well. But hopefully it is the SU-24, because I cannot wait to fly that thing. For the next one, a common mammal found in the African continent. Here we have multiple options. The badger IFV, I think that's a mammal, right? Impala jet, which is a very low tier jet it would be, but still it would be cool. The Atlas cheetah would be kind of like a Kathir, but for the British as a South African aircraft, would be very cool. The F-111 Aardvark, another one, maybe a new variant out of it, something like that, could be cool as well. So many options out there for this one. So you tell me, what do you think is the most likely one? For the next one, a subgroup of flatfishes. Here we can have the USS Flounder that some people are talking about, but the coolest one in my opinion, the JH-7 Flounder with a new variant. Of course, we do already have a variant of this aircraft in the game, but we could actually see another one. But to be honest, I think it is unlikely, since, of course, we already... I mean, the J-10 it makes a lot more sense, right? So 2 new aircraft for China, kind of doubtful, right? And you will see in the next one that it's even more doubtful, but still. For the next one, a loud sound heard during bad weather. So of course, the JF-17 and the K-9, both of them are very likely. Both are called Thunder. The JF-17 is an exported aircraft for the Pakistani, of course, but produced in China. And the K-9 is a South Korean artillery piece that would be very cool for some nations as well. But the JF-17 would make a lot of sense. Why? Because together with the J-10, they would come together with the JF-17 being the premium rank 8 for China. So it would make a lot of sense for the JF-17 to come. Would be very cool. The next one, the Eternal Tank. This is it's another one that it's pretty obvious. Al-Khalid probably coming to the game. The Al-Khalid is an interesting tank. It is normally called the Eternal Tank, and it is the main battle tank family developed jointly between Norinco in China and Pakistan with Taxila. So it would be a very interesting tank for China, and it would be similar to other tanks that we already have in that tech tree. But yeah, very cool. VT-1A is normally the normal name for it, right? The code for the name. But it is basically an evolution of the Type 96s and stuff like that, right? So it makes a lot of sense. And for the last one, 2 warrior siblings from the east defeated by the Finns. I think a lot of people are, talking about other vehicles here, RCV, ISV, ICV, sorry. But probably it's just the KVs, as I talked about it before, guys. And these are the most likely ones, in my opinion, that we will see in this riddle in the next patch. Just to take a look a little quickly, to try to wonder what is going to be a little bit more deeply. But yeah, let me know in the comments if you agree with all of them. Now that we've taken a look, we can actually try to predict a little bit more, right? But yeah, let me know in the comments what you think, and I see you guys on the next one. Bye guys, see ya.